Y'all, wow. You would have never imagined what I had to go through to get this thing working. Man, y'all, I'm bummed. Honestly, guys, I am so bummed, if you guys can hear me. It shouldn't have took that long to figure this out, but man, I'm bummed. I'm gonna wait till some of y'all come back on, but man, I'm bummed, guys. Alright, while you guys are coming on, I might as well get some stuff going. Hey Rolahan, yeah, we're back. Oh dude, I am so frustrated, man. I had to get a new router, like a new wireless router from Walmart. Like, it wouldn't come back on, and I found out it's like the internet issue was on my side, just suddenly out of nowhere. Like, nothing caused it, just I don't have explanation for it. So I'm frustrated because the stream was going so good. Oh man, I'm bummed. I'm trying not to let it bother me, but I'm so bothered by it. All that time, I was trying to even, you know, a nice 4-hour stream to kind of end it nicely, and it just, wow, bro, it just, yeah, didn't pan out. Trying to check something here real quick before we get into it. Yeah, it's rough, and you know, and again, I'm not expecting it to be perfect, like the stream perfect all the time, but it's still like, especially when you're into it, because I gave myself a break from the stream for a reason, you know, like enjoying family and friends in the background, and then I finally came to stream because I felt good today, and then boom, just completely ruined. Oh my goodness. And I realized Modbot was streaming too, so I didn't even want to like fight with his audience, you know, because I know some of the guys watch Modbot as well too. So I was trying to pick a stream day that nobody else stream or a time frame, but yeah, it's just. All right, so I'm just trying to see if I can get the, like, how you get the comments on the screen. really haven't set that part up yet, so it'll be nice to kind of get that going with Stream Elements. While we're just kind of waiting on a couple of people to join in. So I was seeing overlays. Okay. All right. So once you're done with the chat overlay, what do you do? Like, do you just not sure what this thing does? Click here to guide to start. Get to my overlays and create a new overlay. Copy the URL on OBS, add source. See image browser source, which I did. Okay. Okay. I guess I didn't copy it. Let me copy it. Insert the width height. Why would it be so big? Just testing this, see how this works. Hey, back in business. Okay, all right, no problem. Axe Potato. Yeah, I'm just waiting for some people to pile back in, man. I had to change my router. My wireless router literally seemed like it was given the issue here. Just out of nowhere, just randomly decided to just stop. So I had to get a new one, and it's stable now. So I'm looking at the connection, and it's looking real good. But I actually added as you can see, I have another view with my phone, using my phone camera to give you guys like another perspective here, which is kind of nice. But wow. What if I take the... Can I do it this way? I'm just gonna do it this way. It only brings up the window. Okay, let me go back to Stream Elements. And let's do that. Let's do this. Ignore me there, guys. I'm just edit something real quick before we start again. Alright, I finally understood it. Doesn't really work when you try to get it going. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go mess with this thing another time. I was trying to see if I can get the comments on the screen with the stream elements, but I'm gonna have to play with this another time. It's okay. Just trying to see if I can try to figure it out, but it's okay. We'll mess with that another time. Just gonna remove it. Okay. There we go. Glad you got it fixed. That's a real dope on a new angle. Yeah, thanks. Hey PT. Welcome guys. Alright, so I'm gonna start back where I was kind of let it off. Honestly guys, I'm a little down. I'm gonna be honest. I was really feeling the vibe. Everybody actually had a lot more viewers, but man, like it just had to be me, man. My luck, my shitty luck, just had to ruin the stream. But we're back. I'm just gonna go ahead and start on some few things. Give me 1 second here. Let me deal with my kiddos. My kiddos are really getting on my nerves too. So I have three boys and they're very, yeah. Give me a second here. Let me deal with them. Thanks, Axe Potato. I'm muted. So what I was saying, guys, how you guys doing during this time? It's been cold in Florida, so I'm not used to the cold. I'm not a big fan of the cold. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to be able to manage a cold when I just came here from Jamaica, but now the cold weather, man, I can't do cold. That's probably why you will never catch me up north. Like I'll visit like the northern states and Canada, but you won't catch me living there because I can't do cold, man. All right, I cannot do the cold, guys. So what state you guys are from? Some of you guys are from. I'm in Florida. Where are you guys located? Kind of want to work on this set first. Let me just work on getting these, and then I'll work on those. So I kind of want, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do all the male ends on this side. If you're in there, but East Texas, hour and a half south of Dallas. Oh, nice, nice. I live in Wesley Chapel, Florida. So I'm in the Wesley Chapel area in Florida. So you could call that Tampa Bay area. That's where I live. I'm in a little city called Zephyr Hills. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that one, but that's where I'm located. Lots of old folks live here, I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of older retired folks live here. But I'm guessing that's Florida on a whole, you know? So like I said about my crimps, guys, look how well my crimps are. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but my crimps are pretty. Good thing I can move the phone in so you guys can see that. Crimps are pretty good. Some nice crimps there. So not too bad on the crimps there. Yeah, they ain't going nowhere. Oh, you like St. Peter? Okay, okay. Tampa Bay is a nice place. Busy, but nothing like Orlando. Yep, you're right. Like St. Petersburg too. Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, I like Orlando. I'm a big fan. Like, I take the kids to Busch Garden a lot because I cannot afford Disney tickets at this moment. Disney's pretty expensive, and I've been here in this country about going on 16 years. So I came here in 2006, and I haven't been to Disney yet. Disney's kind of expensive. I would like to go, but it's definitely not priority on the bucket list for sure. But I would definitely like to visit Disney. So I just go to the poor man Disney Springs and walk around and shop around there. I live in Atlanta for 15 years, so travel back and forth through Florida a lot. Oh, awesome. I would like to go to Atlanta. I drove through Atlanta with my stepmom back when I first came. Like when I first came from Jamaica, like accent is still strong. You know, people can hardly understand what I'm saying. And I went to pick up my dad because my dad was becoming a truck driver. And we drove all the way from Florida to Tennessee. And we went through, this is my first experience just driving through Atlanta. And man, can I say traffic? Woo, boy. Dude, Atlanta traffic is ridiculous. Like, I thought I saw cars here, and I mean, I hate traffic here as it is, but Atlanta traffic is in a whole nother ball game. Like, Tampa traffic is rough too, but you can kind of get through. But Atlanta traffic, there's no comparison. Like, insane. Disney is overrated. That is unless you're still really young. Yeah, I have a feeling like that too. I think Disney's overrated too. You know, that's why I'm not in a rush to go or anything like that. Yeah, traffic is unreal there. Yep. Insane. I can't even tell you how much time I've talked to my dad. He's still currently a truck driver. And that's his biggest complaint. When it comes to Atlanta, oh my God, he said he can't stand that place. The traffic stands still for hours. Like, it's insane. Man, I love this crimping tool. Look how clean those crimps are. Look, super nice, just right on the edge. It grabs all of the wire. It just, yeah, this crimping tool. I'm sure you guys can see that. It just works good. I know people don't like this ratcheting effect, but I like it. I can tell. Basically, it allows me to add enough pressure to just let go, and it always crimps pretty nicely. So I like it. Yeah, I guess everyone is busy after that stream, man. But I'm gonna stream for a while though, guys. So I'll be on here for a while. I'm pretty sure we'll pick up after a little bit. I'm gonna do as much as I can and stream. So I'll be here for a little bit. If you guys want to hop in and out, that's okay. The tool is called, the name on it so far is called ES28BMA. It says 0.1 to 0.5 millimeter squared. And I guess the gauge is between 26 to 20 gauge is what it crimps. Yeah, so that's what it crimps. So it's nice. It's a nice little tool. That's what I use to all my crimp, and so far I haven't had any issues with my crimping with the tool. It works really, really well. So this is what I like to do. I like to, instead of just you know, like how this came separately, where you had a dual micro fit here for the thermistor for the Rapido, and then a dual micro fit for the heater. I like to have just a 4-pin JST where I just connect it one time. So instead of having two separate pins, it's all in one pin, and it's just easier. So that's what I do with my connection. It just lower the amount of connections you need, so it helps here. So, and I usually just run the sensor in the middle, in the center, and the heater at the outer portions. There we go. This one is going to be a little bit of a pain to slide in, it seems. There we go. Usually when it's like that, I take my little tool just to push it down. All right, motor in. Do the heater now. Okay. All right. So there we go. So that's one connection down. So as you can see, it's just easier to deal with. So I just plug it right in. That's it. Just one connection, so I don't have to worry about it. All right. So now we're gonna work on the rest here. I'm gonna pair both the fans together. So all the fan here. So I'm gonna just kind of pair them all together in this case. So let me strip these. This is a little bit of an awkward positioning. I might have to peel it back a little bit more. And I'm left-handed, guys. If you haven't recognized, I'm definitely a left-hander. But I'm not left-handed all the way. I have a bit of ambidextrous too. So it depends on what I'm doing. I might require my right hand, but for the most part, I'm more biased to my left. So now we're just gonna pair these two together here. I'm not going to solder it or nothing like that. Just going to twist them together a little bit and then crimp them, and that should hold it in place. And I'm just pairing both of the cooling fans together. Just press it. Just exchange it with my cup there. Thank you. Okay. All right. So now we pair the cooling fan now together, and then we're gonna. So basically, both cooling fan are tied together. They're both 24 volt, I want to say, and I think the front fan is, I might be wrong. The cooling fans are 12 volt and the front fan is 24 volt, and the reason for that is I discovered that you can overvolt 12 volt fans and make them run just a tad bit faster. It push out just a tad bit more air, but there's also a limit on how much voltage you can push through it. But I just bought 12 volt fans so I can overvolt them just a little bit. Now I realize there's also a new mod for the Annex K3. I can't remember the name of it, but it uses a massive, I think a 40-40 fan or 40-10 fan, just one of the thick ones to push a ton of air. So again, I'm just gonna run this stock for now, but eventually down the line I would like to run that type of fan too for cooling, for better cooling and stuff. But I just want to run this in a stock format and then get an opinion, get an idea, bring that message back to you guys, what I think, and then when I mod it, then we'll also revisit back again and let you know guys what I know, what my opinion is. But for right now, it's just stock setup. So alright, so we're gonna pair this together. So we're gonna go ahead and start crimping these. Yep, that's nicely crimped. Okay, this ain't going nowhere, guys. should have did it the other way, but bit of an awkward angle here. But let me see if I can push it in there. You just want a little bit of the sleeving go crimped. Just a little bit of the sleeving crimped. Just helps hold everything in place. There we go. Ah, that's funny enough. Yeah, it's the first time I'm actually crimping live. I'm pretty sure. First time I'm actually doing live wiring and crimping. I just realized that. I usually do this in the background. So I know some people are bored of it, but why not? We're here, you know? Might as well show you my workflow. Come on, Leo. A little bit of the sleeving in there, and squeeze down. Perfect print. Just a little close up for you guys so you can see. So you see that a little bit. You just need a little bit of that sleeving. So that's really nice and clean there. Now we're going to put on the housing for these. Let's see how I want to do this. Maybe I put the hot end fan in the center. I kind of want the negatives on the negative side, so I'm going to keep the negatives on the left side. So we'll just do that, yeah. And these wires are soft, so I can't push them in. They're not as stiff. So I'm gonna have to aid it. Okay, there we go. Put this. In place. Do the same thing here. It's going to take the negative side, put over here. There we go. Take the positive side and put on the right. There we go. So now that's all in place again. So now we have all fans wired up. So again, it just simplifies the old process. As you can see, now I can keep them simple. So I know this is my fan wire. I know my hot end fan is in the center, and then my cooling fans are out on the outer portion. So it's all about just keeping a mental diagram of what you're doing. So, you know, I'm so used to doing it, so I know exactly where things go. And it just simplifies the whole cable in there. So instead of having a bunch of connection, look, I just have 2 so far that are 4 pins. So now I gotta just wire up this, and then wire up this, and I'm pretty much done. That's it. Really simple. It just keeps everything nice and clean. Hey, backyard garden. Excellent, hardworking. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. All right, so now we just gotta crimp these. These two cables are for the cookie probe or quick draw probe in this case. This is for the quick draw, and then of course this is for the NEMA 14 round pancake motor. So gotta make sure we get that going. Voice is low. All right, let me turn it up a little bit. Don't want to get too loud, so just let me know. So I turn myself up a little bit, so let me know if that's really good for you. Plus, I'm using a Yeti, a blue Yeti, so my printer is in front of it, so it might be blocking my audio a little bit. Let me see if I can get it up a little closer to me. Should be able to hear me much better now. All right. So let's work on these two. These are the only two we have left. I'm gonna just crimp these two, get it out of the way. All right. Put on the crimps for this. Hey Collie05, welcome by the way. Thanks for letting me know about my voice. Just want to make sure I welcome everyone. Alright, thank you. Good to know. Bit of a sleeve in here. There we go. Perfect crimp. Like I said, I haven't messed up. As you guys realize, I haven't messed up on the crimp. It's just once you get used to crimping and you just have a workflow, it becomes like second nature. That's why I said, like, I do want to go CAN bus, but at the same time I wire up my printer so well that a little hard to justify, but I just want to try the CAN bus just for experience, and so I know exactly what I'm talking about versus having no clue. So that's my main reason for wanting to go CAN bus. But me wiring up printers have just been easy for me. Very, very easy. Is that a trick? No. It's not a trick, honestly. With crimping, all right. So I'm gonna be honest. So when I started crimping, messing with my crimps, because I never used to crimp. I just used to twist wires together and then use like heat shrink and kind of keep them together, which is not the best method. It does work, but not the safest thing to use. So when I really got into like converting my X5SA into Vorons, that's when I started crimping. Now, when I first bought this tool, I'm gonna be honest, I sucked. I mean, like even trying to even figure out how much pressure to apply, all of that stuff, I sucked. But you know what I did? I just kept on like practicing and just pushing just enough. Like I said, you just want a little bit of that sleeve in there. And once you squeeze down, what I love about this is unlike the, I don't want to jack up the name of that crimper. A lot of people recommend the Engineering PA06 or PA04, one of those, where it doesn't have this ratchet effect. It actually has, you put your pressure down on it. I like this because this has a predefined amount of torque that it applies. And because of that, I get very good consistency out of it versus just using my hands to just crimp it. So again, to each your own, but I find this to be very, very consistent when it comes to like crimping this stuff. So no, it ain't. Yeah, Nick, you're right. Crimping ain't easy. It's I would say it's definitely a skill set. It's one of those ones that, especially if you have shaky hands, like in awkward position, like I'm in sometimes, like just very small space. If you have shaky hands, it can really cause you to really mess up. But again, I'm so focused. That's why I said I hone in on crimping. Like I'm so focused that I'm like, I always trying to get it, but I've been doing crimping for about a year and a half now, so my fingers are used to holding this and used to just applying the same amount of pressure. So you get used to it. Just keep practicing. You get used to it after a while. But that's why I said I don't blame those who go like canvas, because less wiring, less crimping, you know, still the same amount of performance or whatever. So I totally get it. It's definitely not for everybody. But I like it. It's a little therapy to me. You know, it makes me focus a little bit more. Which tool? I think I read it out. It's this. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up. If you look at the light there on the phone, see if I can let it focus here. So it's a ES-28 BMA. That's what it's called. If you want to look that up, that's what I got. I got it from Amazon. It came in a little crimping kit. So that's what I use. Nick, yeah, microfits. Alright, so I have a ton of microfits. Like I bought a whole pack, and I didn't realize how expensive they were, man. Like $56 for a whole kit. Yikes. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. That's why I stick to JST, because I know people give the JST gripes, but I like JST because, see, if I want to take this apart, all I have to do is, see if I have it here. If I want to take this apart, I just take this pin. See this? This is what you call a phone SIM tray ejector thing. All I got to do is point it literally at the back of here. Just push it in the back and make sure that the wire doesn't slip out, and push the wire forward, and then the wire pops right out. If I wanted to remove it from the, I want to say the female end here, I just take this cheap Harbor Freight pointy tool, or whatever you want to call it, and just push it down, and it comes right out. So when it comes to microfit you have to have a specific tool for, and even when I tried it, it's still a mess to get apart. Like it's still, like I get it that microfit is like secure, but when you want to, like, let's say you want to redo a connection or whatever, it's a mess to take apart. So for me, it's just better with the JST. Like I'll just stick with it because it works. So, you know. I got the EBB36 and I'm getting there, but panicking on the main CAN bus lead. Yeah, just take your time, buddy. Hey, yo, don't rush it. Don't rush it. Like this printer build would have been done already, right? Like this printer build would have been way done in the background already. But because you guys requested for me to do it live, I'm actually enjoying taking my time and actually really doing it, because I've messed up a couple of times. Thank God PT was here to help me out. A couple of guys that already built their stuff to help me out. So it's really nice to have that community just to kind of help me out. But I'll say this, don't rush it. Have patience. Do not rush it. That's why I'm not rushing this. Like, I don't want to mess up, because messing up, yeah, it gets me frustrated. As you can see, even the stream messed up and I'm like a little flustered. But yeah, take your time. That's my recommendation. Don't even rush it. Just take your time. You know, it's not worth the hassle to make you get angry and upset over these things. So all right, yeah, so let me continue here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these two pins in here. Trust me, these printers have made me rage quit and say a lot of words I don't need to say in the background. Like, you guys probably look at me differently if you hear me like, oh my god, like just raging. But you know, I tried to just develop a calm, patient attitude towards it. Alright, so got the 2 pins in. Like I said, the crimps, man, my crimping job is amazing, man. So like I said, it's just practice gets you there. So now we just got to work on stripping these the motor wire and mounting that one. I don't know if I need it this long, but I'm just gonna keep it this long for now. If I need to shorten it, I'm pretty sure I can zip tie it down with the rest of them. Yeah, you don't need to strip this all too much. I'm tightening it with just a little bit more tension on there. Sleeving on these tend to not come off cleanly sometimes on this type of wire. So try to, there we go. Behave yourself. So yeah, so I just go ahead, place it in, just line it up here. You just want to get just the sleeve. As soon as you see the sleeve at the right at the mount, just start squeezing down. That's it. There we go. That's it. That will hold it in place. Go, not going nowhere. 2 down. I'll put the camera in the main so I can see. Alright. I'll make it bigger for you. I'll make it bigger for you. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. Got it bigger. Let me see if it'll show up on the screen. It should though. There you go. So hopefully you can see that clear, because I am using wireless on my phone camera here. So hopefully it picks up what I'm doing. Taking this, you want it facing the correct way, so I just go ahead, just line it up, squeeze, not all the way, because I want that little gap there. So now just take this, See if I can give it the best angle here. You just want the tip of the sleeve to hit the front part. So about there, so you have the wires, but you just want this bottom right there. Right? So I just squeeze down from that point on to the clicks. I don't squeeze any further after it clicks. I just let go. And now let's pop it out. There you go. See? That's it. Hopefully you can see that. I really need to, my goal is actually to get a better front shooter instead of the webcams. So I'm going to work on trying to get a nicer main camera for this. So that way you guys can kind of see more details here. That's it. There we go. So yeah, pretty easy. That was it. Pretty simple for me. So used to doing it. Alright, so I'm gonna bring this back down a little bit. Alright, now we're just gonna put on the I want to do it in order. So black and blue on the outer, red and green inner. So put the black out here. There you go. Next is green. Red. Kind of like you want to twist it up so it stays kind of uniform with each other. Oh, pop right out. Oh, nope, yeah, it popped out. Yeah, thing wasn't up. There we go. There we go. Now it's in. And then we use the glue to kind of wrap it around so it's like it's all in one place here. There we go. All connections done. So like you see, now you can see what I'm saying. So in total, I only have 4 connectors in total. So that's it. Only 4 connectors. So the fan wire, the cooling fan wire plus the hot end is all paired, right? I know the difference between them, so I know what they're connected to. The clicky probe or quick draw is by itself, which is fine. And then we have the hot end and thermistor cable all together, and then we have the 4 cable for the motor. So that's it. That's all I need. And then just all I got to do is kind of zip tie them down, make them look neat, and that's it. That's what I like to do. So even though it doesn't have a can board, it's still going to look neat. Still going to look a little nicer, you know? Seeing how I want to lay down these cables here without it touching the rail. So all 3 can just sit in this little area. So I can just go ahead and there we go. back here somehow. We'll just route it through. Set it up where it doesn't touch the rail. My goal. I haven't got comfortable with the pressure needed for the insulation crimping. It's either not enough and it isn't held, or it's too much and it breaks it. Oh man, interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky. Then again, this might not be the greatest. I would say this probably might not be the greatest for everybody, but it works for me, so I just gotta stick with it, you know. Yeah. I have like 1 in 4 success rate. Oh man, that's rough. That's rough, Nick. Hey, Mr. 7. I'm glad you keep your name. I'm glad you kept your name the same way for me, because you know I won't say it right. Welcome, buddy. Oh man. Look at my stream. My stream was so nice earlier, man. There was so much folks, so much of a good faces. But I have my core audience, so it's all good. My core audience is here. It's all good. So just tighten this down a little bit more so it doesn't touch anything. I also don't want to stretch the cable too much. So I'm making sure everything looks pretty corporate set there. There we go. Alright guys, so look, as you can see, my cable is pretty neatly ran. Doesn't look ugly. Put that right there. So if you guys can see that, let me see if I can get you guys a close-up in there. So you can see the cable is routed nice and neat. So not touching anything. Not touching the linear rails. Nothing is touching the rail. Even this here, not touching the rail. So everything avoids the rail. There we go. So tool head wiring is done. I'm excited. Our portion is done, thank God. Yeah, it looks clean. I was gonna turn the motor. I don't know, I might turn the motor around so that way this is kind of at the bottom. But I have enough length to kind of keep it together in this area. We'll see. If you're wondering what wires I'm going to be using, I'll show you guys real quick. My favorite wire to use. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay. Alright. So these are my favorite wires. Let me take down this guy so we can talk about this a little bit. Let me lift him up because he's heavy. Oh my God. So heavy. Ooh. Jesus. Wow. Okay. That's pretty weighty. Alright. So there you go, 7. You already said it. I know you watch my channel because you already said it. So these are what I use. So they come in variety of thickness and cores. I like these things, and the reason why I went this route is before. Let me take a sip. of my drink here real quick. Probably. If you want to put a link down out there, you can. So these are, so before I went, this is story time. Before CAN bus was a thing, okay? Before CAN bus was a thing. When I built my Iron Man V1.8 last year, this is last summer, I used regular cable. That's before this, you know, the regular silicone tube cables, the soft ones. And the Chinese cable chain will like literally eat through it, okay? So it will eat through it, and either my hot end fan will stop working or something will stop working, right? And I was getting irritated. I was like, man, this sucks. Like the cable chain. And so what I would do too, I will wrap the cables in electrical tape. So I'll just wrap them in electrical tape just to make them a little stiffer and to kind of create that layer of protection. But even then, the drag chains were so sharp they would cut through the electrical tape and still rub and eat through the to the protective sleeving housing of the cable. So I got super fed up. Like I got tired of it and I got fed up. So what I did was I researched. I said I want a continuous flex cable, something that's designed with a bunch of this, like basically a bunch of conductors on the inside. So a thick sleeving with a bunch of cable on the inside. And I found IGUS. And I mean, I've heard about IGUS before, but didn't know they sell these things. And so I looked into it, and I ordered this set first and wired up my printer. Never had issue after that. I don't have none, like no wire, nothing. It's solid. And it's been printing for like well over a year and a half now, other than my recent update to it. And even then, to add there's so much conductors here that to even add the Voron tap, all I had to do was I had 2 spare wires. I think one spare wire or 2 that I just had to turn into like a negative or a positive, added into it, and that was it. So the benefit is it's a lot of wires still that you got to crimp, but the benefit is that you don't have to worry about the drag chain destroying this, or you don't even have to run it with a drag chain because it's kind of semi-stiff. You know, it has some flex, but it's semi-stiff, so you can run this as an umbilical if you wanted to. So hence why I'm reluctant to do CAN bus, because all my printers run this wire and have no issues with them. So it's kind of hard to pull down my printer, go for CAN bus when everything is working here. So that's why I was suggesting this. They come a little thicker too. So as you can see, this is much thicker than this. So if you look at this, so this is a little thinner. This is a lot thicker. This is like chunky, like really thick, and has the same amount of cable. It's just the conductors are a little thicker. I think like 26 gauge or 20 gauge. So the wire is just a little thicker. How many conductors does this have? So this comes with about 20 conductors. You can have, I think you can get them up to 30 conductors in them. So yeah, they come with quite a bit. As you can see, they come with quite a bit of conductors in them. So, and this is the one I'm going to be using on the K3. It's thick, it's long. I mean, this is unnecessary to be honest with you, but I know it's gonna act as an umbilical in the K3, and it's thick enough so it can move. And you know, I'm gonna show you something. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna demonstrate for you. So this is why I like having the phone, because then you can actually see it. So this is my VZ butt. This has been since I built it. Look, it hasn't, other than sagging because of the PTFE tube kind of pulling it to the side, but look, it doesn't go any further. It doesn't sag any further, and I have no issues with wiring, as you can see. So no issues. And then in the corner here, if I can fix this phone so you guys don't fall out of my hand, all of this wire here, this is all extra conductors. So let's say if I wanted to add something in the future, I can pull that wire down, push it down into the bottom, run what I'm running, and run it at the top, and connect it here. So all the extra conductors are electrical tape here. So if I remove the electrical tape, you will see all the extra conductors right here. So if I wanted to add something, I could just add to it and not have to worry about pulling down everything else. So that was the purpose of doing it with the extra conductors. If I needed to add like LED or I don't know, something fancy in the future to the tool head, I could that way. So I guess you could say I was trying to think of ahead of time before CAN bus was a thing. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. So now you know. So that was the plan. So yeah, so when you see me on the stream and you thought I was reluctant, the only reason why I was reluctant because of this, because this thing works so well. Like, and I wish Voron would recommend this type of wire because it works really well. I mean, you can put in a cable chain, it won't break. It's a little stiffer in a cable chain, I'm not gonna lie, but it won't break the wires. The wire won't break, especially if you crimp them really well. It's work. So, so this is what I'm using for my. Technically, I can use this set, because I kind of already stripped it. And the K3 don't need a ton of wiring, so I might just use it since I already have it peeled. So instead of using this thick one, I'm probably gonna just stick with this one here, wire this one up. But there's another version I bought to try. This one is designed for electronics that have different colors in it. This was gonna go on my V2, but I decided not to use it because the one on my V2 works perfect enough, so I just didn't bother with it. So yeah, so now you know, guys. So like I said, there's multiple options out there, and that's why I said and the benefit here is, here's a benefit, here's one more benefit. Hear me out. Even though I do run multiple MCUs, that means like on my, for example, on my 2.4 I run like 2 SKR Picos. On my Trident behind me, I still have also SKR Picos. I have 2 of them, but on the rest of my machine I have like 1 MCU. Now the benefit with this is that you don't have to run multiple MCU, right? If you have like an octopus board and you wire it up correctly, you're done. Like that's it. Like you don't have to ever worry about the cable breaking. And I'm pretty sure my cable are not gonna go out before the printer go out. I'm pretty sure the printer board or something else is gonna die before these cables go anywhere. So that's what I was saying. Like they work so well that I don't need to mess with anything. So all right, rant over. I just wanted to share that with you guys. IGUS continuous flex cable. The model number. I'll send it to you. I think it's on my old video. It's on my old video. The model number is there though. All right. See what you guys are saying now. Would you mind posting a link? Yes, I'll have her post a link for it. My wife is in the background here, so she'll post a link for it for you guys so you guys can see it. Does IGUS need to be wrapped in any umbilical or its sheet thick enough? So its sheet is thick enough. Nick, it's super thick. Sorry, I didn't notice your comment. So if you look here, or maybe I can show you here. If you see the sheeting is pretty thick. So you really don't have to worry about wrapping anything. Now, in my, for example, in my trying to find which one. When heat gets to it, like the heat of a chamber, for example, on my V1.8, I had to remove the drag chain because of the way the tap is working. It affects the tap. When heat hits this, the only thing that happens to it is that it gets a little softer. So right now it's kind of stiff, right? Semi-stiff, but it's still flex. It just gets a little softer. That's about it. But it doesn't affect the wire or nothing like that. It doesn't really do anything. So you can definitely run this umbilical, but just know that, like, depending on the lengths you're gonna run, for example, if you're gonna run it like this, the longer it is, the more flex you're gonna have in it. Especially if it's hot, if the chamber is warm, it might start sagging a little bit. So if you want to mount something to kind of help it stay upright, it's fine. However, if you're short, if your umbilical mount is short, then it won't flex as much. You'll kind of get a nice travel part without it sagging down too much. So it depends on the length you're using. but it can definitely work as an umbilical. So. I should definitely get IGUS to sponsor me. I've been promoting this stuff forever now, so I should definitely get IGUS to sponsor me. Another thing I did too, which is great. I did took off the sheeting off of this one time, and for the TikTok build that I did, I took off the sheeting and I just used the raw cables in cable chain, and believe it or not, nothing happened to them. They don't break. I don't know what kind of wire they use. I'm not gonna lie. It seemed like some copper-based wire, but the sheeting is really strong, so they don't break as easy. They're not as flimsy to break. They're not as soft. So I can't tell exactly what strong type they're using. I'm pretty sure on the website they tell you. But like I said, this is a very, very solid cable purchase. Like you won't regret it. Like you purchase it, it works really well. So yeah, so let's get back to the build. But I had to let you guys know that's what I'm doing. So that's the purpose here. Promote that. Alright, so next thing to do is mount this. We gotta mount this on. So let's do that. Yeah, probably Teflon or nylon. I want to say it's probably more Teflon than anything else, because it seems kind of slippery. Like if you touch it, it slides real easy. There's a coating, there's like a white powder coating on the inside of the sheeting here to help it, to prevent friction from the cable rubbing. But whatever coating they use, definitely slippery, so it doesn't rub as easy. All right, Axe Potato. Hey, listen, I got a purchaser. I made a believer. So there you go. And even in a CAN bus format, like in CAN bus format, you can use like 4 of these. You know, if you go in CAN bus, you can use 4 of these strong, or you can buy a 4 cable conductor. So like they do sell where you have 4 conductors in the stick cable, so you can do that too, and that will also make it look much cleaner than just running like USB cable or something like that, you know. So like I said, they're really good cable quality, really good stuff. So the link, oh yeah, let me get the link for you guys so that way I don't forget. Let me find the link here real quick. I'm gonna throw this back up there. Okay, let me get that link for you guys. I'm gonna log into my account so I can point you guys to the correct one I buy, and you can read the specs on it too, what the specs are. Yeah, but like I said, I haven't had to touch none of my printers at all. Once I use that wire, I haven't touched my printer in months. Like no issues, it just works. So alright, let me go to my history here, order history. Alright, so to show you guys how serious I was, the first order of this was from 10/16/2021. And I'm on the same cable that I ordered is still on my Iron Man right now. No issues. And look how long that was. That's about a year ago. Yeah, well over a year and a couple months, and no issues. So let me get that for you. Let me get the cable link. What was the cable? That's what it's called, CFF80 cable, PVC control cable, 7 feet. That's what I bought. So I'm gonna have to copy this. I'm trying to see if I can. No, I'm gonna have to just contact IGUS and be like, hey, listen, I'm promoting your product, man. Y'all help me out a little bit. Let me get some sponsor. Link for the crimpers? Alright, sure, I'll do that as well. There's the link. For the cable. So here's a link for the cable, guys. I just posted in the chat there. I'm gonna pin the message so you guys have it at the top. And then Franzi Norwal, hey man, welcome to the stream, buddy. You say K3 or VZ bot? I like both. Honestly, I can't speak on the K3 yet. I want to get it up and running first. My goal is by the end of January, like, well, not the end of January, but sometime in January this will be done, and I'll do a live stream on the like the print and everything. So this thing was going to be all live stream here, but I can't really speak on the K3 yet. But based on performance, it looks like it's a monster by itself, right? So 20K, 30K, 300 millimeters a second, it's insane. The VZ bot, my VZ bot is pretty fast too. I can do 20K at 250 millimeters a second, printing PLA. It's really good. It just depends on what you're looking for. My reason for building the K3 was, it just looks awesome. It's just like a different printer. It was different from all of the Core XY stuff out there, and it's fast. It's a fast little demon. So I wanted a little printer. Yeah, trying to decide my next build. I finished my Trident. Personally, now that you give me that information, build a VZ bot. This thing here, the K3, and this is not to discourage you at all. It's a little bit more complex. It's not like you can just go in and do it. Like, there's so much information on it. There's not a manual like the Voron guys where everything is a manual, right? There's not a manual, but there's a CAD that you might have to look at, and there's certain things that are detail orientated that you might miss. If you look back to my stream, that's why I streamed it so you guys can see it. I've made a couple mistakes on stream, so and that's even after looking at the CAD and still miss some of the stuff. So I would say avoid this right now. Unless you really want to tinker and really want to learn and you don't care, build this. But I would say VZ bot. VZ bot is nice build, easy build, and print fast, if not just as fast as this thing or faster. So and a little bit cheaper. This is more expensive. This is like in its current form, even though I self-source most of the damn thing, it's still $1,400 that I paid. Like it's expensive. VZ bot, I think you can come around like $200-300 cheaper than this, maybe $1,000. If you want to convert like a X5SA, if you buy a used X5SA on Amazon like for $200, you can self-source the rest of your pass with your VZ bot and still not break $800 or $700, depending on how well you get at sourcing, and still get a nice printer out of it. So, but this is not for the faint of heart. This is very complex and does require some time in it. So my vote, VZ bot. But if you want to tinker, you don't mind watching my videos and supporting the channel and using my videos as a learning experience, then you could build a K3, But my vote is a VZ bot for sure. K3 or VZ bot, the answer is yes, right? For sure. Yeah, that's a kit. I think that was the kit. I can't remember if that was a kit, but I'm gonna post that link. It's the crimpers. It's like type in this. It's ES28 BMA. That's the crimper that it came with. Yeah, so, and then they can have that one, because that's the crimper I use. Let me see it. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's the crimper. That's a kit. Cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun when you can't make a decision, ain't it? I would say just build whatever your heart, whatever you feel the mood into. Honestly, like whatever you feel the mood into. I would say the K3 is different enough where you can get a nice satisfaction out of it once you build it. I would say that. The VZ bot is good too, but I didn't really get full satisfaction just because it's such an easy printer to build. It didn't take me like less than a day to put this thing together. Like it's super easy. But if you want something more trialing, you know, more trying, more kind of get your brain juice flowing a little bit more, the K3 is the way for sure. Like if you want something fun to tinker with. Alright, post that link. Perfect. So I'm gonna post. My wife is gonna post the crimping tool link there for you. No, I don't see the. Yeah, yes, it did. Well, no, it didn't go through. You can send it my way, and I'll just post it. I'll just post it in the group too. Yeah, it didn't work. I realized, Collie, it didn't work. I'm gonna see if I can post it myself. Send it to me. What's the name of the tool? Let me go on my. I did it in the Amazon cart, and then I can see it from there. Oh, okay. Okay. That works. You making sure I get that. It's fine. Hey, listen, they're gonna support me. It's okay. They don't mind. On Facebook? Okay, let me go. No, they won't, because I don't have that screen up. It's okay. Okay. Oh, my Facebook. Oh, Messenger. Okay. I have it right here too. All right, perfect.
I don't know. I did it, but you know what it is? It's probably your account isn't in under my account, so it's probably saying that I'm trying to spam you. Because you did have a comment earlier.
All right.
See if it works. Ask him. I think I got it.
Yes, you got it. Yeah, link posted. So cool. All right, so the link should be there now, Kali05, for the crimping tool. Of course, if you purchase it, I get a little kickback. So I appreciate you guys who purchased through my little link. It really does help to buy more 3D printing parts and entertain you guys more. So it does help. Okay, so now we can continue here with the build. And if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to throw it out there, because I want to entertain y'all. Don't want y'all to be bored here the whole time. Alright, so let's see. Let's check out what else I got to do here. To hide that. I think I can mount the side panels tonight, guys, because I have time, so I can stream. Like I said, I'm going to stream for a little bit longer just to make up for that little mishap earlier. So I think I can mount the side panels now that I kind of have everything a bit wired up. So let me see what screws I need here. Okay, so we need M3 10mm screws. Okay, so let's do that. I think this mounts back here like so. Okay, so we know what we need. So we can tilt this back a little. There we go. Just wanted to pop by and see how the K3 was coming along since I was able to catch you live. Good luck tinkering. Alright, man. Thanks for visiting, Frenzy. Hope to see you around next time. Let's see if I can pop it in, because these things are not as easy to go in sometimes. There we go. Oh, behave yourself. There we go. On your VZ Trident, when you have installed the all-wheel drive in front inverted. Are you asking about the two motors in the front, 7? So I had Squirrel Brain, which he's not here tonight, but Squirrel Brain is like a good friend of mine. He has sent me so much goodies. Are the pulley aligned, or you invert all of them? So no, the pulley's aligned. So what I did, I had Squirrel Brain invert. Well, I don't know. I don't think inverting works, because I thought about inverting them initially in Cura, which is what I use, my preferred slicer I used to. That didn't work because the pulley wouldn't align. So what I did, I had Squirrel Brain modify the STLs to allow it to reline back up, even if they're inverted at the top, to align them up. I don't know. He's really good at CAD, so I asked him because I didn't want to jank it up. I do have it though. I still have the STLs. So if you want STLs just for the front, I can send those to you or give a link after. Just hit me up over Facebook, my Golden Jaguar Facebook, and I'll give you a link. But I did have him invert them for me, so the pulley are lined up correctly. So no issues there. So. Yep, because I tried to do it myself. You can't just invert them raw. It doesn't line up the same way. So he did some tweaking of the STL, and that helped. And you do lose a little bit of the front with the all-wheel drive for the VZ bot. Vez even mentioned it. You do lose like 10mm from the front. An extra 10. So if you don't mind losing 10mm, I mean it's 330 by 330, so you're losing 10 off of that, so it's 320. So not too much. And I never max out my build plate anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But just as a heads up that you do lose some build volume. Oh yeah, I'll take a Iger sponsor. I won't sponsor me. All right, so just checking. Just lining up the T-nuts here with the holes. I might have to flip this around the side. And this thing is getting so super heavy, guys. The more I add to it, the heavier it gets. Come down just a little bit. All right. Let me lower this bed here. I'll bring the bed down. No. I was only talking about the Voron top feature. That Voron top is amazing, and the internet decided to go out on me. As I was talking about the Voron top, which is phenomenal. Alright. Alright, there we go. We grabbed it. Make sure it's all the way up in there. All right. I don't want to crack it. I hear cracking here. I want to over tighten it because I tend to do that. God, I'm screwing into plastic piece, so don't go ham on it. Don't break, even though I can reprint it really quickly, but still, I'd rather not have to reprint anything right now. Alright, that's mounted. There you go. I want to make sure this thing sits right over where I think it should sit. Alright, so I might need to bring this down just a little bit, so when it goes to get the quick draw probe, it doesn't cause an issue. So I might need to take this down just a hair. I've heard that Voron top have some issues. Oh no. Okay, so 7. My experience with it. 2 things. Well, in my experience, Voron top is not recommended for 1.8. So my video is really to highlight that you can if you do the MGN12H linear rail bed mod, right? And the reason for that is because the current 1.8 in its format, the linear rail, the linear rods, the 8mm rods are flexible. So as soon as you top the bed, you can see the bed like wobble, like there's not much stiffness there. It's stiff, but you can just see the wobbling on the bed. So I just went ahead and did the linear rail mod where it's 2 MGM12H and then a wider STL to accommodate that room, because the current STL is about this small that holds onto the bed, right, with the lead screw. The other STL that's designed, it's buckled to the MGN12 rail, then the lead screw go between that and it's wider. So now it's taking up that slack that would have been there. So now it's much stiffer. It's way stiffer. I wouldn't say it's as stiff as like a Trident bed or a 2.4 bed, but it's stiff enough. Basically, you can still tap if you want to tap hard and see it flex just slightly, but the flex is not as there as like a 1.8. So it does really work well for tap. However, when it comes to ABS, there's two things I'm noticing. With tap, you have to make sure your ABS is not leaking. Make sure it's not leaking any ABS from that nozzle. So what I do is I have a built-in, like for my G-code through Cura, because I use Cura for my G-code commands. I don't really put anything in my clipper config, just because I don't want to jank it up with all of that stuff. And I know you can separate it, but I just prefer using Cura for all my start and stop G-code. But as long as you can have it clean, the nozzle. So what I would do is have my nozzle sit for a while and wait till all of the ABS kind of burn out, come out. Then I have the nozzle do a clean before it does anything else. If you don't do that, then yes, you're gonna run into a little bit of an issue. You also have a script that prevents the nozzle. For example, if it detects that the nozzle is at 250 degrees, it will drop that down to 150. However, you also need a G code behind that, because they didn't have a script to kind of like bring it down to 150, then bring it back up to temperature before it prints. It will error out. So you have to put a I can't remember what this. It's a G code to tell the heater to heat up and wait. M190S. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, correct me guys. But it's an M190S, so I'll put that in my start G code after it cleans the nozzle, so it heats back up again, and then it goes to print. So it just depends on how you set up your start macros. That will help alleviate some of the problem. But in my experience so far, it's great. I love Voron tap. It's accurate. Like, I mean, when I say super accurate, it's better than a BL Touch. It's better than the clicky probe, even though I do like my clicky probe and the auto Z calibration, but it's more consistent than those combined, like in terms of that. So if you get it set up right, it's perfect. You don't even need to look at any other solution than Voron tap. Do I like that my nozzle is topping the bed? Nah, not really. But the fact that it's not topping the bed while being super hot, I'm okay with, That was the only problem, was my nozzle going to be at 250 degrees or 300 degrees and hitting my PI sheet. But because they have a script to lower it to about 150, it works out great. It actually works pretty well. So, but I'm not sure what they're doing. But when I set my thing together, it works perfect. But then again, anything I touch tend to work really well. I'm bragging a little bit, but I tend to take my time with stuff. So they could be just rushing it and running into issues. But no, mine works really, 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 really well. So I don't know. I will say this though. I think it might affect. Let's say if you're going between ABS and PLA, I think you might have an effect there, because I only print ABS on my machines. All my enclosed machine only print ABS, so I think that consistency of just running at 110 degree bed and 250 degrees on the nozzle, that consistency have allowed me to have consistent layer, like consistent first layers and stuff like that. But I can see if you're going to print PLA, which the bed temp is going to be much lower and the nozzle temp is going to be much lower, that's going to need a whole different offset. So I'm not sure, that might be a thing too. I can see it affecting the Voron tap that way. But for me right now, just printing ABS directly and only that's all I print, it's been perfect. Like, I can just hit print right now and it would do everything by itself and I don't have to look at it. So I don't know. It could just be a thing. Oh, it works great. Hey, Nick, at least you're there for back me up. It works great, man. Voron top is awesome. Like I said, I was skeptical about it because it just seems weird. Like, the approach that they took, it's just kind of weird to have the tool head moving up and down. But it's good. I like it. I'm gonna implement it on my 2.4 and my conversion here, my 1.8 conversion here. So I'm gonna implement it on those. Yeah, I think the same thing too, Nick. That you need slightly different offset if you're using different material and different temperature. So, um, there you go. That's the way. Just print ABS only. Now that's why I recommend people, if you have multiple printers, in my opinion, the easiest thing to do, unless you have one, I understand. But if you have multiple printers like myself, just dedicate some to just PTG and PLA, and the rest to ABS. Like all my machines back here, just print ABS only. I don't want them touching no PLA. That's not it. My VZ butt is for PLA and PTG. That's all it does. It doesn't even print ABS. It's just PLA, PTG, because I don't print those stuff anymore like that. So all my ABS printers print just ABS, and so consistency across the board is perfect. I don't have to keep messing with them and messing with offsets, and it's just a mess. So to me, if you have multiple printer, dedicate one for ABS, dedicate one for just PLA. It makes it easy, unless you really need to print a ton of PLA stuff across the board. But if you can just keep it printing one material, it's all the better. Building a Rook type printer for PLA and exactly. It just makes it easy. You don't have to keep messing with the printers. It just makes everything easy. So, yep, agreed. All right, let me adjust this real quick, and then we can start doing a little bit of side panel mounting here. Make it actually look like a freaking printer. Budging at all, but there we go. You come down just ever so slightly. I'm just lining up the magnets so that way, yikes, nothing fell off. Where did it go? Okay, I'm not worried about that. I have two more. We can work with these two. I'm not sure which one is going to stick to it, but whatever. Maybe this. Of course, one of them will flip, but it's okay. I just needed to line up this. Okay. Try not to over tighten it too much. All right. All right, so that's perfect height right now. I have two printers CFG with different PDI tunes, offset and rename. Then to PLA printer or ABS printer. When I don't. Oh, okay. That's clever. Okay, I see what you're doing. That makes sense. So one PDI, so two printer CFG, one specifically set up for PLA, one set up for ABS. So I'm guessing you run a PDI tune calibration for PLA temperature and a PDI tune calibration for ABS temperature, and so you have both of them in your config, but one hashtag out, not connected. So when you need to connect it, you just close off one, activate one, and you're good. That makes sense. I can see that. That's clever. I didn't think about that. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that, Seven. All right. Nice. I think you can also have a slicer pass the filament type to the clipper and use that to load and correct the settings for each. Yeah, I've heard about that too. That method of doing it too. You know what? I want to complete this, so let me work on my quick probe before I touch anything else. Let me just do that because it's bothering me, and I want to make sure everything on the inside is already done. I don't have to keep messing with this. So let me work on getting my quick draw probe set up. Take this down one more time. All right. Okay. So, quick draw. We need. Let me get a few items, guys, real quick, to get this going. Babe. Alright, I'm back, guys. Okay. So, when I set up these cookie probe stuff, I have a cheat. Because it's hard to find the M2 screws I have the magnet don't stick to it well. So I use these they're metal, but like they're like gold plated nail, and I clip off the end. So I'll show you how I do mine. But that's how I set up mine, to have a less of a hassle, and I actually use these tools. I'm gonna probably try to use this. If not, I'm gonna use my regular vise to get things going. All right. Need magnets. Need to buy some more magnets. I'm running out of these magnets here. Okay, so let's see if I can lower the phone so you guys can see what I'm doing here. You guys gonna be spotting my little YouTube screen here, but that's okay. All right. Click the center piece. Fire in my face. There we go. I'm using the recommended if you wonder what the end stop switch I'm using, it's the DF2F5. I think this is the recommended for the clicky probe in general. Recommended switch. I have a ton of them, so Like I told you guys, when I buy stuff, I buy it in excess just in case, you know, if I want to convert or want to do some other things, I don't have to keep buying. So. This is sometimes this can be the difficult part, is to try to get it in there. Sometimes you get one side and you have to like squeeze the other side in. Sorry guys if I see me coughing here, I'm sorry. Having a little bit of sniffles. Jim, I love your builds. You have inspired me to try DIY myself. Hey man, I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that. That's the premise of my old channel, is to inspire you guys to tap in, use your creativity. Even follow me if you guys want to and put your own twist to it. But I felt good. I appreciate that comment, honestly. Alright, so I'm just gonna ream this out just a little bit, because sometimes even though your printer tolerance might be good, for some reason with this quick draw, sometime I have to like take off a little bit of the edges for it to slip in without forcing it in there. Oh, absolutely, Nick. Very high praise, and I really do. I'm humbled by it. I really appreciate that. Absolutely. And this is why I keep doing it, because when I get like comments like that every so often, it really does encourage me to keep going. Because I'm telling you, honestly, sometime in the background, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to do it. But comments like that and you guys really kind of help drive me and keep me going doing it. See if I can squeeze this in, but I'm not having the best of luck. I might have to use this. But try not to squeeze. Try not to squeeze the switch itself. You can damage it that way, so I try to like avoid the switch as best as I can. Yeah, you're right. I'm not afraid to build it from CAD files. Oh, and also, I'm also not afraid to not do it without a kit. I don't need a kit to do it. As long as I can see the machine, I don't really need a kit to do anything. I just want to see what it looked like, and I'll literally go ahead and attempt it. You know? I might have to use my vise for this. Yeah, I might have to use my vise. Makes building a Voron that has a manual seat easy. For sure. For sure. Let y'all see what I'm doing here. I'm literally trying not to break it. I learned my lesson. If you put the switch directly in, when you kind of press fitting it in, too much pressure on the switch itself will break it. Literally, it will just break. It'll break. So I got to push it on the edge and then kind of slowly kind of squeeze it in. Put it on the switch itself, it'll literally break. So you gotta have a little care. There we go. Kind of slide it in now. Just side by side until it goes right in. If I could only figure out Clipper from scratch, programming, coding, it's not my strength. Oh, hey, be honest with you, Jim, programming and coding is not my strength too. I just have a knack, as people say, or a talent for just picking up things real easily. Especially me, I like to read. Especially when I don't understand it, I tend to read into it a lot. And I think some of you guys heard my story, but when I first got into 3D printing, it was Marlin, right? Marlin firmware. My first 3D printer was an Ender 3 Pro, and I wanted to update it. So, and I was intimidated by Marlin. I'm like, what kind of foolishness is this? I seen someone compile it. I'm like, how do you know what to select, right? It was foreign language to me, but I was buying something off Amazon. I can't remember what I was buying. It was either a motor or something, and I just happened to stepper drivers. I remember. I just happened to see someone said, try Cheetah 5.0, like a Marlin version. So I looked it up, and then Cheetah 5.0 kind of break down Marlin for you. It allows you to kind of, the way they worded things, allow you to select your driver, select your board, select everything. And then once I messed with that, I'm like, oh, so that's what you do. So once I figured that out, then I went to the raw Marlin and started selecting what I need and then compiling. And then once I figured that out, I'm like, oh, it's not as hard. Okay, I kind of got the idea now. And then from that point on, I started compiling my own Marlin firmware. It was pretty easy. So next along to Clipper. I tried Clipper for the first time. Okay, this was like end of 2020. I tried Clipper. Right? I've been doing Clipper for a minute. I'm trying to retrace my steps here, guys. Hold on. I attempted Clipper. Let me see. I got my Ender 3 Pro July 20th. I remember it. July 20th, 2020. I didn't attempt Clipper until September. Okay, so September is when I attempted Clipper. And bro, first time I saw it and went through the whole steps, this is when I was using Octoprint instead of the main cell. That's before main cell and all that stuff was a thing. I completely gave up. I was completely clueless. Like I knew Marlin, I ran back to Marlin as quick as anybody could run back. I just went back to Marlin, right? And I came back again, tried it again, because I just couldn't understand how do you compile the firmware, what do you select? Like I just couldn't understand Clipper. I thought it was like backwards, put it this way, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ran from it a second time, just couldn't figure it out. So I just stuck with Marlin. And around this time I discovered Nero's stream. This when Nero was like 5K subscriber. There wasn't much going on Nero's stream, and I discovered his stream and I asked him, I said, is Clipper better than Marlin? And he was like, Clipper is better, you just gotta configure it. And this, keep in mind, Nero wasn't the strongest in Clipper firmware either, but just his encouragement told me like to just do it again. So the third time attempting it, I just end up just taking a breath. Like I took a whole day. I literally took a day off work. And I got up and started read through the documents. Like I just read through it, not rushing it. I'm just like reading through it. And I did everything it said. Just everything it said. And I just end up seeing my printer. Once I flash and everything, I end up seeing my printer moved. And I was like, oh, it moved. And I did it again and it moved. And I was like, oh. And then everything started clicking. It just started clicking. I'm like, I finally got it. So honestly, it's not hard. I just think once you read the manual and kind of like give yourself that time to decompress and not like rush, you'll start figuring. Like you would literally figure it out. But yeah, from that point on, I love Clipper. From that point on, I haven't looked back into Marlin. And I still could compile for Marlin if I wanted to. But I like Clipper better. So I'm sticking with Clipper. So, but yeah. So I'm not really good at firmware 2. But I'm just persistent. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm persistent. I don't want to give up. And so that's what really helped me here. Because I was persistent. But for Clipper, it helps starting with an example. Yep. Yeah, the printer.config really does help you out a lot. I'm watching Nero do Clipper on his Voron one. He just found similar-ish config file, made changes to the important settings. Yes. Yep. Yep, I started in 2020. I've been busy. Yes, I started in 2020, 3D printing in 2020, and look, I've learned so much in 2 years. Like in 2 years, I learned a whole lot. Um, so yeah, but yeah, config is easy. Once you config, like I've done so much configs already that it's like second nature. Like my printer can go down right now. Like I can swap out the board right now and know exactly what to do. Like go right back in, reflash, grab the config, edit what I gotta edit. Well, clearly I saved the settings, right? I save all of the like the bed mesh, all that stuff that matters, and just copy and paste. Just copy and paste, rechange whatever I need to rechange to make sure my motors are going the right direction. Once you have a workflow of it, it's super easy. Like I asked my wife, I'll sit here one day, mess up my config or change out something, and I really need to like make a configuration. I'll download, before I even attempt, I download all of my config, put it in somewhere I can find it. Once I reinstall everything, I just look back on the old config and copy and paste what I need. Just copy and paste, and then just change the motor setup, change this setup, change that setup, and boom, I'm back in business in less than 2 hours. So yeah, once you know it's super easy. But that's why I do all the how-to videos, like the how-to clipper. Like when I learn it, I just try to share it with you guys and try to do it in a way where you guys may understand it a little easier than most people present it. And most people like my videos. Most people say I present it in a way where it's kind of a little bit easier to swallow, you know? So, I haven't done it in a while though. I haven't done an how-to video, but I need to do a video on how to do, how to set up clipper screen with a Android phone or like a tablet. So that's the next thing I want to do. But I haven't done an how-to video in a while. Like, yeah, I haven't done a clipper how-to in a minute. Sorry guys, you always get me on a rant and I start ranting. So I hope you guys don't mind that I like to tell my little stories. A little bit more here. Just a little bit more. It's just not flat like I want it to. All right, so there we go. You guys can see that, and it still clicks. You guys can hear that. Now, see, if I did it the other way where I pushed the whole thing in and compress it, it would have damaged this. It would damage the little switch. So I learned my lesson there to not do it that way. So I do it side to side until it's fully inserted. So the next thing to do now is insert the. Let me fix this little. Next thing to do is insert the. Just trying to fix the pin from the switch. There's a little slot that it sits in, that little slot there. You gotta make sure it's in there. Our PTG good for printing stealth burner complete. I will use it and open printer. Oh man. Okay, so another debate. I'm gonna rant, but I hope you guys don't rant because it's just experience from my background that I would like to share with you guys that some of the bigger YouTubers don't share. So I know a lot of people say don't use PTG. Okay. When I first started, a lot of people told me use ABS. I'm gonna give you, this is my experience because I play with this stuff so much in the background. I have so much information to give. Hear me out. PTG is not bad to use at all, okay? Contrary to popular demands here. It kind of behaves like PLA where it flows a little bit. Like after a while, you can tell it's shifting. But here what I have to say. when I built my switch wire out of PETG, literally nothing was wrong with it. Like nothing happened. It was just as stiff, maybe not as rigid as PLA, but it was pretty stiff for what it was, right? The only problem I had, literally, with PETG is when it came to the fan duct, after the duct, like, because I mean, I print PETG at 80 degrees, right? So 80 degrees on the bed. After a while exposing that duct to the bed, it will start to melt. It was not melt, not I want to say melt. It warps, okay? It will start to warp over time. But this is like after like 3 months or 6 months of printing, right? After 6 months of just printing, you'll see the PETG duct start to warp. So I would say this. You can definitely print a stealth burner out of PETG except for the duct. The duct I will print out in ABS. But everywhere else can be printed in PETG. Assuming that the little pancake motors you're using is not running hot. Because if it does run hot, it will melt, okay? So that's the thing. So as long as the motor's warm, it's not hot, like, you know, you're talking about 60, 70 degrees hot type of temperature. If the motor's like 50 C or less, it'll be fine. But like I said, PETG, it's okay depending on the scenario you're using it in. Like when I built a switch wire out of it, it was fine. As long as I don't use the duct as PETG, just use ABS, everything else was fine. Literally, nothing else happened. So, but I can understand in an environment where it's in an enclosure, like, you know, let's say I'm printing a full-on Voron, right? Put in an enclosure. That's where the trouble starts, right? That's where the trouble, especially at the temperatures we're hitting, 60 degrees. Yeah, you're messing with fire there. But outside of an enclosure, it's fine. I don't see an issue with it. Oh, it's going good, PT. The build's going good. I'm just working on my probe here. Build's going good. I'm gonna put this probe up, and then after probe is done, then I'm gonna see what else we can get done. Maybe put on the side panels or something like that, and then call it a night. And then the next stream, then we can work on the rest of the electronics. Like, you know, I'm waiting for some M5 heated inserts. I don't have none of those, so that's what I'm waiting on. So you might get a stream on a front. I don't know, Nero and them stream Friday. Nero will be streaming like all the time now these days. So it's kind of hard to really, you know, I don't want to break the audience up with him, you know what I'm saying? So I try to stream around him. It might be a late night stream. I'm going to be honest with you. It might be a late night stream at some point. But I want to do a second stream to get this done. So just look out for another one after this. Trying to catch up here. I'm back. PTG's young. But I always say that, but I got what you're saying. It's under half the ASA. The stiffness does matter. Modulus. How you spell it? Modulus. PTG flexes. Yes, it does flex, which means motion system components will suffer inaccuracy. Yeah, it does have some flex. There's a reason not to throw cardboard box over a printer and print ASA. PTG only. Redeeming qualities. Nearly isotopic bonding strength. Same layer lines. Yep. If you get 50 to 60 chamber, the motors are going to... Oh, yeah, it gets hot. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend PTG. Like I said, if you're building a switch wire, just like, even then I'll still recommend ABS. But if you're building a switch wire outside of an enclosure, it's not being enclosed. Like I said, the only thing I'm printing ABS here is like the duct. Because the duct is facing the bed, right? And over time, it will warp. So if you're building that just as a switch wire, you know, you just want to build it. You don't want to print ABS it, or you're not fancy of printing ABS right now. You want to build a switch wire out of PTG without an enclosure, fine. You can go ahead and do it. It'll be fine. However, the duct is where the problem would be, and so I would definitely replace that. But my still suggestion is if you can print it out of ABS, go ahead and print it out of ABS. But like I said, everything else on a stealth burner is fine in PTG. It's nothing gonna happen to it except for the duct. That's the only part I wouldn't print in PTG. What's your opinion on ABS Plus? So I print a various amount of ABS. I don't want to say I would print ABS Plus yet. I just print raw ABS, and I don't even know if they're Plus or not. But the brands I've printed from is Amazon, Matter Hackers, Polymaker, Sunlu ABS, Gizmo Dorks. What's the one they used to recommend all the time? eSun ABS. Everybody recommends that thing. I don't know why, but to each your own, I guess. But I've printed their stuff too. They print fine. Pretty much all ABS I've printed print perfectly fine. The only problem I've had with ABS is build surface. If your build surface is not good, it's not gonna stick. Period. That's the only issue. Almost every ABS I've printed perfectly. So your build surface is not good. It's not gonna stay on. It's not gonna stay on the bed. You have too much air on it. It's not gonna stay on the bed. It's gonna warp eventually, especially if it's bigger. If it's like bigger items you're printing, it's gonna warp. What else? Yeah, those are my experiences. It's not too much air. You do need cooling, not too much. If you're printing fast, you want to balance out the cooling. Like, for example, I'm gonna give a good example. This thing prints at 20K acceleration. As big as you see it does, it moves really quickly. I'm gonna give you an example so you can see what I'm saying. Since you're back, you guys are behind me. You guys maybe can see it. Let me go to it real quick. I'm just gonna do one run of what I typically do here. Just one run of 20K axle at whatever, and I can't hit 1,000 millimeter in velocity. It does bug out the machines. The motors just give out at that point, but I can do 800 millimeter velocity on this. Let me see if I can get it to do a quick. So let me see if I can show you guys this screen capture. Let's do, there you go, so you guys can see my screen. Let's do a screen capture. So let's do, I'm gonna do 700 millimeter a second, so just for safety. I'm gonna do just 2 iteration of that. I'm gonna do it at 20K. I won't do more than that. I really haven't pushed more than that yet, but I just want to show you. So I'm gonna send that. Let you guys see this. Hopefully you guys can see that. Now this is 700 millimeters velocity at 20K acceleration. So for a big printer, keep in mind this is a lot of mass on it, right? So I can't go as fast as the other guys unless I get some stupid stronger motor. But at the maximum, this is what I'm able to manage with this printer. So you'll see it. Okay, that's 700 millimeter, okay? At 20K acceleration. So it does move quick. So I'm not joking, it does print pretty quickly. And there you go, now it stops. So I want to show you guys that. So, let me go back to my screen here. Okay, so that was to demonstrate, like, trying to get to what were you saying with the question. Where was I going with the question? Someone asked a question why I said it. Hey, if you guys can remind me what my train of thought, I almost lost my train of thought here because there was something, there's a reason why I showed you that. Okay, ABS. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Printing ABS. The faster you print it, you need a little bit more cooling. Now you don't need a whole bunch of cooling, but you need more. I noticed when I was printing fast with that thing, the layers will start bubbling on each other, right? Because it didn't get time to cool, especially when you lower the what? I'm trying to remember the name. See, I'm going through like brain farts here. Let me remember the name. Sorry guys, I'm trying to remember. Come on, Kira, load. There's a word for what I'm talking about. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. It has to do with cooling. So there we go. Minimum layer time. Minimum print layer time. Okay, when you lower the minimum print layer time, your machine is gonna move faster. There's no, that means if you set it for 3 seconds, it's literally 3 seconds is gonna give that layer to cool, okay? So the lower minimum layer time you have, it's the machine is not gonna take its time to reach that next layer. It's just gonna go there, right? So with ABS, if you're printing at like 250 degrees nautical, sometimes 260, it will start bubbling that layer. So you need more cooling. However, you need to balance out the cooling with the speed. If you put too much cooling at the same, let's say you're going 20K, like I said, 20K, 700 millimeters a second, you put too much cooling, well, it's gonna cool to the point where the ABS now is so cool that it's actually coming off the bed. So it's a balancing act. You can't have too much cooling at it. You just want enough to keep the layers from bubbling, in my experience from printing. So that was the point of me doing all of that. All right. Have you seen a Neo PC? Yep, I've seen that. Annex server, semi-crystalline structure makes it sound like legit metal. It's stable, amazing stuff. He's printing all out of it. Oh, I saw that. I saw that on it. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good. I saw that, Printeroni, on the Discord. I recently started using Smooth PEI again. I forgot how well it sticks. Okay, Smooth PEI. Nick. Good point. I know I'll get to it, guy. But I'm just talking with y'all. Smooth PEI is on all my printers. Gizmo Dorks, and not to, again, I need to ask them for some sponsors. Smooth PEI, in my experience, separately from the rigid PEI stuff that people use with a flex plate, Smooth PEI, in my opinion, is better than textured. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Smooth PEI is way better than textured. When it comes to printing ABS and pretty much all filaments, it sticks. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it holds on to the prints. It holds on to the prints. Textured PEI works in the beginning, but after a while, it doesn't hold the prints anymore. Like I don't know what it is, but no matter, even if you clean it with the soapy water trick, it doesn't hold on to the print. But Smooth PEI, it no matter how much I clean it, how much I take it off, it works every time. It just works. So for me, Smooth PEI only when it comes to ABS. I can just print and walk away and not have to worry about it. Like it's incredible. So Smooth PEI. Nick, you're right. Smooth PEI is the best in my opinion. Someone recently ran a temp tower with varying fan speed instead of temps and found that they needed their ABS temps. Increase your motor current, get over. So alright, so my motor current is Printeroni. I calculate my motor current based on the type of motor I have. They do get hot. This chamber here hits 62 degrees. It gets really hot, and these motors are running at 1.2 milliamp. They get hot. I mean, I can touch them and my hand is like scorching hot. So I'm pretty sure they're easily hitting 80 degrees, which is at the top end of where a motor can. So I'm limited. What I need is just better motors. Honestly, I just need like some LDO motors that can withstand the temperature a bit better, and then I can get more speed out of it. But right now, these stepper online motors I'm using, even though they're torquey, they have a lot of torque down low, but when they get hot, they spaz out. They can't even do anything else after that point. So my limit is not really the gantry or nothing. My limit is the motors. The motors are they're topping out. They can't go any further. So we need more FPS. LOL. Prone. The cooling printing ABS. Layer time. My layer time is 3 seconds. I set layer time for 3 seconds for my setup. Minimum layer time is an estimate and depend on proper machine limits entered into the slicer that match the firmware. If you have CPAP cooling, you're never going to need minimum layer time. Yep, you're right. I just don't want to put all of that conundrum in my freaking printer right now. That's so much to go implement. But you're right. The CPAP will be great. But like I said, you also don't need too much air, because if you do, it can come off the bed too. So you got to be careful. It's a balance. Like I said, it's a balancing act too. You don't need a ton of air on it. It seems easier to do more fan cooling when the chamber is nice and toasty. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, Nick. Yes, you're right. When the chamber is toasty, you're pushing all that hot air back onto the print. It stop it from cooling off too fast. Then you can push air on it. But like I said, you still go crazy with a bunch of air, and it'll still cool enough where it warps off the bed. So you just got to be careful. Some sandpaper on some Scotch-Brite pad with some soapy water will resurface as textured PI. Huh, interesting. I attach a thermistor to my heatsink on my stepper, and Clipper lets me monitor it and all a printer thinks so. Oh, really? See, now, I never got that. So, printer running, I never got that intricate. Like, to add all that additional sensor. Maybe just me, just being lazy and just don't want to have all of that stuff. Because I just feel like that's extra wiring and monitoring stuff. I'm just being lazy, guys. Like, literally, if I could get away with a minimum amount of work to get the speed, I'll do that. Like, all the extra stuff, I just don't know if I need all of that. But it's not bad to implement those things, too, if you really want to push the printer to its utmost performance and using all the components to their utmost best, right? But for me, I'm just lazy. I'm not going to do all of that extra stuff. I'm just going to, wherever I hit the limits, I hit the limit, you know? That's just basically where I'm at with it. What you think about printing ABS direct on glass? Okay, my experience with ABS on glass, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. It's a no-go, my man. I tried it. I tried all experiments, especially on borosilicate glass, which you think, well, I mean, borosilicate glass is definitely recommended, but it's a no-go. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It doesn't work. Yeah, maybe just monitor one stepper. Yeah, that might be an idea. I have extra things I could just pop on there and monitor, right? You could be right. I could monitor an extra stepper. Like the extruder. Do you see the new long shaft motors? They're called Magnum Boys. They replaced the long boys with the latest Mega Speed of Power Elio. Why are they so long? Why are they long? Like, why are they longer than the long boys? I thought the long boys were ridiculous. Why are they so long, Printeroni? So in my experience, Nick, who asked about the glass? Let me look. Make sure I'm answering you. Okay, 7. I wouldn't recommend glass. Now, here's a trick. Here's the thing. Just want to share this with y'all. If you had to, and I mean temporarily, if you had to, like temporarily, you could use this. I have a ton of this. So let's say you don't have a PI sheet, you have a borosilicate glass or any glass, you just wanted to print ABS, you just needed to stay down. This sucker will help. Like, just. And don't be light with it too. Don't be light. Don't be light with it. Just make sure that glass is wet with the sucker. Like, just like wet it all up. Just make sure the glass is wet, right? With this, and let it dry. You can either heat up your bed and make it dry, or just put it outside and make it dry. When you print on it, it kind of acts like Printeroni said, like it kind of acts like it kind of feels like PI sheet. It kind of more like, I can't explain the texture that it gives. But once you do that, you print ABS on it, it will hold it. Here's the problem. If you're making small prints, fine. Like Voron parts type of print, it'll fine. If you're printing anything bigger than that, it will start warping. At a certain limit, even if the chamber is hot, it just still warps, right? It just doesn't hold as strong as PI sheet. So for like temporary builds, this is fine. Like if you just temporarily trying to print some ABS parts, little parts here and there, building a printer, this is fine. But it's still not better than a piece of PI sheet on top of glass. Like PI sheet on top of glass or something like that. It's not better than that. So, but like a temporary method, yes, you could. So I just wanted to share that. right. Yeah, you guys had some good questions for me to answer. It got me all going. Got me all amped up. I appreciate that. Glassworks special summer coater manufacturer legacy surface PI for the win. Did you ever get good at drilling the glass bed? Nope. Hey, listen, I went to three. So the glass bed I'm using is the 330 millimeter by 330 millimeter Tronxy bed. Okay, and I have a PI sheet on top of that. So I have PI sheet on top of it. Bro, I tried to drill it twice. And I told you what happened. That sucker shattered. And after that, I gave up. I was like, I'm not wasting no more glass, man. And these guys are not cheap, like $50 a pop. I don't know. Yeah, I gave up. Now, it could just be, like I said, it could be me doing it the wrong way, even though I had the drill bit that you used to drill glass with. So I had a correct bit. It's just the glass wasn't sitting properly. And that was my fault. But I don't know if I want to reattempt all of that again. I'm okay. I just stick with it the way it is. Oh my goodness. No, same length as the long boys, but the motor itself is way more powerful. Got it. People are seeing much higher axle on a K3 with the Magma. Okay, that makes sense. More beefier motor. That makes sense. Most in Annex server use the Vision Minor Nano Polymer Adhesive. It is basically 100% insurance that you won't have warping. It's a great product. Okay, good to know. How am I attaching the glass bed? Okay, so I have these clips. I mean, I wish I could show them. Oh, I got one here. So good to have things. So I'm using these. See these? These are nice clips. Basically, it pops underneath the bed and it just holds it. So I like that it doesn't protrude. You see, it's not as long. So it doesn't protrude too much on the bed. So basically, it's just pressure fit, like spring fit. So that's why I'm holding on to the bed, to the aluminum bed or whatever. So yeah, that's what I use. They're just easy to use. I just pop them on there, pop them in. I only have 4 of them holding on to the bed, and that's it. All right, Printeroni, I'm gonna look into those motors, those Magnum boys you're talking about. Gonna take a look at those. Yeah, I just need more powerful motors for this machine behind me. I mean, for right now, it gets the job done. But yeah. But yeah, I've been rambling for a minute now, so let me see if I can find my magnets here, where they went. And that's the problem with magnets. Whenever you rest them random places, they just disappear. Okay, so I gotta make sure these magnets are sitting right on top of this so I'm not messing up when I crimp them in. So I'm gonna bring this boy back up here real quick. Okay. You're welcome, Nick. I mix Vision Minor Nano Polymer 1:1 with 99% ISO and it works awesome. Okay. I've seen that Vision Polymer stuff before. I just, sometimes I don't like to do commercial stuff. I tend to just like try to find an alternative method. I'm just one of those guys. Like, I'm always gonna find some alternative method. But good to know that it actually works. Okay, I'll check them out. Thanks, Printeroni. Oh, magnets are infamous to be on every tool. That's why I tried to put them away. They're infamous to just go everywhere. So, alright, so that one goes there. That one goes there. So, you can just take this. We do one at a time. Press fit. So, if it goes on like that, so that's the front. I want to do it like so. right? I also want to make sure I'm doing it the right way because I don't want a magnet twisting on me. So I'm gonna press fit it in right here. Yes, got it the first time press fitted. So there we go. I press fit in my magnets and they hold on very well. I don't have to use glue. There we go. All right. So the next side. Oh yeah, I seen the Ellis tip. You know, one thing with me though, I strive to be like, not that I won't learn from anyone, but I've read through his thing, and there's some really good tips on there. Like, he has some really good tuning stuff. But most of my tuning idea really come from me just studying it, just watch how prints work, and just messing with parameters in the slicer to get some clean prints. So like a lot of my prints are pretty clean. But the Ellis tuning guide for like someone that don't exactly know what's going on with printing is really, really well recommended. It's good stuff. Come on, behave. Get in there. There we go. All right, guys. There we go. So I press fit it in. I don't like using glue with the stuff. I rather the pressure between the pressure from the pins, that little pin, you see, that's the pin from the switch and the magnets. I like that the pressure from the pins on the magnet hold it in place. I don't like using glue. I think glue is annoying. So, and there we go. Let you guys see that. Oops. Whoops. My bad, guys. There we go. So, there we go. Sticks right on there. And these are very strong magnet, by the way. They're very, very strong magnets. I'm letting you know. These are like the rare earth magnets. They're very strong. So, of course, it's going to pop right off. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. So, we got it sticking. We're good. So, we're going to do the... I don't have M2 screws or self-tapping screws. So, what I'm doing the cheapest method I can possibly find because I couldn't find them. Basically, I take these nails and I push it in and clip the ends. So I clip the ends just short enough and then push them through it, and that helps. So I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. Like I said, I always take the laziest route to do things. Let me get a piece of cloth here. Alright, I'm I'm back, fellas. Okay. So this is my little cheapo method. So basically, because I don't want this to fly in my face, so this is what I do. It's like a metal cutter. So I'm just gonna cut a little piece of this, like about right there. It's about right there. Just kind of cut off a little tip there so it doesn't stick out too much. And it's like cover it up so it doesn't it doesn't break. And cut it. So I got a little piece of it, but not all the way. Ah, this peeled. Boo. Peeled a little bit. But tuning should always be done on machine-to-machine basis. I agree. Yep. Absolutely. Ellis has some good clarification over microconception plastered around the community. For example, measuring two walls for flow is inaccurate as there is inherent overlap between adjacent extrusion. Really good to read, spark some analytical thought. Yeah, for sure. You're right, Pinaroni. For tells. I appreciate it, Nick. That was funny. I didn't expect that. I really do need to get some self-stopping screw and stop this bullshit I'm doing, but oh my god, that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, what I'm doing here is ridiculous, guys, but it does work. Man, I'm just stripping these things. Hold on. I'm just not getting a good bite on them. Now I want to demonstrate it. Now it's like behaving all weird. See if I can get down to the edge here. Alright. I'm gonna do it now. There we go. There we go. So now that's cut. Thank you, Nick, for self-stopping screw funds, etc. That was kind of funny. See, and that's my mindset. Sometimes I'll be finding alternative ways to do things because I'm kind of lazy. What are you doing? Trimming the screw size? Yeah, it's kind of nail. It's nail, but they're metal because the M2 screws I have are aluminum, so the magnet don't stick to it. Versus this, look, magnet stick right to it. The ones that I have, the magnet don't stick to it, so that's why I went to Lowe's to grab these and just did this method. It works, but it's kind of funny. If you find any of them don't thread well after cutting, use some sandpaper to sand down chamfer and they are bespoke fastener and made to order. I do that too, especially when I don't want to wait for Amazon or AliExpress. Yes. Sometimes I can't wait for them exactly, and so I just go to freaking Lowe's and just grab the closest thing I could get. But these are not screw. Basically, I'm just gonna force press it into the back here. That's all. I'll just make sure I do this right. Okay. So this is the back. So I'm just force pressing them in. See? Just force pressing it in so it sits in the back. And it doesn't come out. Don't worry. I don't have to screw it in. Because I force press it in, it stays in. It stays in place. All right. And there we go, completed. So now, no longer need these things. Okay, so we should be good now to have it stick. There we go. Pick it up. There we go. I'll show you guys. So, comes in, pick up the probe picked up, and there we go. So as you can see, it sticks in place because of that one, because, there we go. So, that's completed. Alright. Okay. All right, yeah, that looks good right there. So looks good. All right, gotta handle the youngster. I'll catch you next stream. Congrats on making it this far. I look forward to seeing you getting printing. Of course, they'll get printing, man. I appreciate you, Printeroni, for coming through, man. I really do appreciate all you guys. Nick, you know, Franzi, Norwal, like a lot of you guys, man. This is my core audience. 7. Appreciate you all coming through. Jim, appreciate you coming through. New faces. Axe Potato, you guys have been really fun to talk with. So next stream, this is what we're doing, so you guys can know, because this next stream is a bit of a long stream and serious stream. So next stream is all about paneling. Like literally, this thing is going to get paneled up and wired up. Now, as far as the board, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still indecisive. I don't know whether to use the... Let me show you guys. I'm trying to find my board. Yeah, there we go. So, hopefully I didn't flash you guys with the underwear. My bad if you guys got flashed. But so I have the spider board from, as you can see, it's all dusty now because I had it from last year. I can't remember, sometime last year, but I have it for a while now. It's been here for a while. As you can see, I don't know if I want to use it. I'm thinking about using it. I'm still not sure because, like I said, the spider board I've had issues. This is the 1.1 version. I am still thinking about using it, but I'm not quite sure yet which route I want to go with this. I might buy a new board, to be honest with you. I might go on Amazon and buy an actual octopus board. I feel more comfortable with the Big Tree Tech stuff over this. But like I said, we'll see when we come to wiring it up, like, you know, which route I want to go. But I may just keep this for something else, or I may sell it for those who want like our giveaway. You know, like I said, it still works. I just don't trust the board. I just don't trust it from the first time. So we'll see. We'll I'll try to figure out what I want to do by then, and then we can go from there. Like I said, I may or may not use it. It really depends. push come to shove, I may just use 2SCR Picos. Like I have a ton of Picos that I bought, and the Picos work great. Um, um, but I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking about which route to go here for just the first build, and then from that we can kind of modify and mess with it from as we go. So, but yeah, guys. So I'm just thinking about that. But other than that, I think we're gonna call it a night. The next stream, depending on if I get these items in, it may be tomorrow or it may be Friday. One of those days. I know New Year's stream on Fridays too, so I'm gonna try to be careful around his stream time. I don't want to really slot into those guys' time. So, but it'll be sometime this weekend somehow. That way we can kind of get this thing kind of built together and put together. So, but yeah, guys. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for just watching me rant, rave, and just have fun with you guys and entertaining you guys. So, but I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see you in the next one. You take care, guys, and appreciate your donation, Nick. I'll definitely use it to get some screws, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So take it easy, guys. Peace. Oh, and happy holidays. Happy holidays. Enjoy you guys' holidays.